Imagine a moment in life when the human mind becomes free from constant doubt. A moment when decision-making no longer feels like a battlefield inside your own head. A state where you simply know what must be done and move forward without hesitation. Many people believe such a state belongs only to legends. But history tells a different story. For more than 800 years, a warrior philosophy has shaped individuals capable of living with extraordinary mental strength. This system was not created only for survival in battle. It was designed to strengthen the human spirit, sharpen clarity, and build unbreakable character. Warriors who followed this path learned to stand calmly even when facing death itself. They trained their minds to act with certainty even in the most complicated and dangerous situations. Today, humanity faces a different kind of battle. This battle is not fought with swords or armor. It is fought inside the mind. Every day, people are surrounded by thousands of choices, conflicting opinions, and emotional pressure. Social media, work expectations, and personal uncertainty continuously pull the human mind in different directions. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their potential is not lack of intelligence or opportunity. It is hesitation. Fear of making the wrong decision often becomes more dangerous than making a decision itself. Many opportunities are lost not because people were incapable, but because they waited too long trying to find the perfect answer. Inside the human mind, a destructive pattern often appears. Questions begin to multiply. What if this is not the best choice? Should I wait a little longer? Maybe a better opportunity will appear later. This thinking trap is known as analysis paralysis, a mental state where overthinking destroys action. The ancient warrior philosophy offered a brutal but powerful solution. Instead of trying to calculate every possible outcome, warriors focused on building a clear moral compass. If a person understands their core principles, they do not need to waste energy thinking about what to do in every situation. The answer becomes instinctive. The first step in applying this idea to modern life is simple but profound. Create your own list of non-negotiable values. Write down the 5 principles that define who you are as a person. These principles will become your internal navigation system. When facing a difficult decision, ask yourself one question. Which choice is most aligned with my values? This is not about perfection. Human beings will make mistakes. That is part of life. The real strength lies in consistency. In the philosophy of the ancient warriors, betraying one's own moral code was considered worse than facing hardship. In the modern world, this does not mean choosing death over dishonor in a literal sense. It means protecting your integrity even when it is uncomfortable. It means being willing to pay the price of honesty, responsibility, and discipline. Many people want success, but they never build the internal structure that makes success sustainable. Motivation comes and goes like the wind. But when principles are deeply rooted, action becomes stable and predictable. Start observing your daily decisions. Every time you face a choice, pause for a moment and ask yourself, does this decision move me closer to the person I want to become? Or does it pull me away from my values? Life is not shaped by grand, dramatic moments alone. Most of life is built from small, repeated choices. These small choices slowly form your character. Ancient warriors believed that honor was not measured by winning one battle. Honor was created through daily discipline. Victory was not only about defeating an opponent, it was about defeating weakness inside oneself. In today's society, people often expect quick transformation. But inner strength does not grow overnight. It is formed through repeated correct actions performed over long periods of time. If you practice aligning your actions with your principles every single day, decision-making will gradually become more automatic and more precise. The most important message of this philosophy is not about becoming a perfect human being. It is about staying loyal to who you truly are. In the next part, we will explore the relationship between fear and courage, because real strength does not come only from clarity of decision, but from the ability to act even when fear is present. Fear is one of the oldest emotions in human history. It protected our ancestors from danger and helped humanity survive in a hostile world. But in the modern era, fear has taken a different form. It no longer always protects us. Sometimes it simply limits us. Many people believe that brave individuals are those who never feel fear. This idea is completely wrong. True courage is not living without fear. True courage is the ability to feel fear and still move forward. The greatest misunderstanding about bravery is thinking that confidence means emotional silence inside the mind. In reality, even the strongest warriors experienced fear before battle. The difference was not the absence of fear, but the control over its influence. Ancient warrior philosophy taught a brutal mental training method. They practiced the concept of accepting death as a natural part of existence. This was not done to create darkness in the mind, but to remove psychological attachment that creates hesitation. When a person constantly imagines losing everything they value, something paradoxical happens. The mind begins to lose unnecessary fear. When you mentally accept the possibility of failure, rejection, or loss, your actions become freer and more decisive. Modern psychology supports a similar idea. People who expose themselves gradually to uncomfortable situations tend to develop stronger emotional control. Courage behaves like a muscle. If you avoid challenging experiences, fear grows stronger. If you practice facing discomfort regularly, your courage grows. Every day, choose at least one small action that slightly scares you. It does not have to be something extreme or dangerous. The goal is not to shock your nervous system. The goal is to train your mind to act despite emotional resistance. It could be starting a conversation with someone you are interested in but afraid to approach. It could be applying for a job you think is beyond your current level of qualification. It could be speaking your opinion in a situation where you usually stay silent. What matters is not the size of the action, but the consistency of facing discomfort. There is a famous story about a legendary warrior who fought more than 60 deadly duels in his lifetime. Before every fight, he admitted that fear was always present. He never tried to eliminate fear completely. Instead, he made a conscious decision not to let fear control his behavior. This is a powerful psychological principle. You are not required to feel confident before acting. You are only required to act. Waiting for perfect emotional readiness is one of the biggest traps in personal development. If you wait until fear disappears, you may wait forever. Fear rarely disappears completely. It simply becomes weaker when ignored. Start viewing fear as a signal, not as a command. When fear appears, ask yourself a simple question. Is this fear protecting me from real danger? Or is it protecting me from growth? Sometimes fear appears because you are stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth always exists beyond comfort. The price of progress is temporary emotional discomfort. Another important practice is visualization of difficult scenarios. Imagine the worst possible outcome of your action. Accept it mentally. Once your mind stops exaggerating danger, action becomes easier. Warrior philosophy understood something that modern society sometimes forgets. Life is unpredictable. Absolute safety does not exist. Trying to eliminate all risk is itself a dangerous illusion. Instead of trying to build a life without fear, build a life where fear does not control your choices. Courage is not shouting loudly or acting recklessly. Courage is walking forward quietly while fear is still speaking inside your mind. In the next part, we will talk about the silent power that is often misunderstood, the strength of compassion, and how true power does not need constant demonstration. Power is often misunderstood in modern society. Many people believe power must be loud, visible, and dominant. They think strength means raising the voice higher, standing taller, or forcing others to obey. But the ancient warrior philosophy teaches something very different. True strength does not need constant demonstration. Imagine a warrior who is so confident in his ability that he does not feel the need to prove it in every conversation or conflict. This type of strength is quiet, stable, and deeply rooted inside character rather than appearance. The philosophy of benevolence teaches that real power creates protection rather than destruction. Strength becomes meaningful when it is used to protect life, support others, and maintain harmony rather than dominate unnecessarily. Many people associate kindness with weakness. This is a misunderstanding. Kindness without strength can become vulnerability, but kindness combined with strength becomes one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. Think about the image of a highly skilled warrior who is capable of defeating opponents but still helps a lost child find their family. This symbolizes the highest form of inner mastery, the ability to choose compassion even when power is available. Practice using your strength through compassion once every week. You do not need to perform heroic acts. Small actions are enough. You can help someone who is struggling at work, teach something useful to a beginner in your field, or simply remain kind to someone who was rude to you. Responding to negativity with calm dignity is not weakness. It is a sign that your emotional state is not controlled by external behavior. When someone insults or challenges you, you always have two choices. You can react emotionally, or you can respond with measured control. The second choice requires more inner power. The strongest individuals are not those who never face hostility. The strongest individuals are those who can maintain their composure even under pressure. Another important principle is respect for human dignity. Treat every person you meet as if they matter, because in reality, they do. Status, profession, and social position should not change the way you show basic respect. Imagine spending 1 week interacting with everyone you meet, from senior leaders to service workers, with equal attention and courtesy. Observe how this changes not only the way others treat you, but also how you perceive yourself. Respect is not about formal politeness alone. It is about recognizing the value of human existence regardless of external differences. Trust is another form of silent power. Become someone whose word carries weight. For the next 30 days, make only promises you are absolutely sure you can keep. If you are uncertain, avoid making the promise. It is better to surprise people with positive results than to disappoint them with broken expectations. Professional success in the modern world is strongly connected to trustworthiness. People prefer working with individuals who are reliable rather than those who are simply talented. Character eventually becomes destiny. Your long-term life path is shaped more by who you are consistently than by what you achieve occasionally. Reflect once every week about your life direction. Ask yourself a simple question. If my life were a biography written by history, would I be proud of this week's actions? Living for something larger than temporary pleasure reduces anxiety and mental chaos. When your life has meaning, small problems lose their emotional dominance. Finally, loyalty should always begin with your own core values. Do not follow people or organizations blindly. Loyalty must belong first to truth and principle, not to pressure or popularity. If someone asks you to violate your moral code in the name of loyalty, you are not obligated to obey. The ultimate lesson of this philosophy is simple but powerful. Transformation does not happen by learning ideas alone. Transformation happens when you practice them repeatedly. Choose one virtue, practice it consistently for 30 days, then add another. Over time, this creates a character that is difficult to break. The ancient warrior code teaches that life becomes simpler when you know who you are and what you stand for. The real question is not whether you can live without fear or difficulty. The real question is whether you are ready to build a life guided by principles stronger than your emotions.